Nothing comes close to a product that was designed by a manufacturer at the brink of extinction. In fact, it's more intriguing if I told you that that singular decision was done illegally. But that illegal decision is what has saved Audi as a brand that you enjoy today. I believe today, in the modern day, 2025, that there is no better car that you can buy that will offer you a touch of luxury, practicality, and a tune of performance better than the Audi A4 B6. No, they don't make them as good as they used to back in the days. That is a relative sentence that I'll use to describe my feelings about this Audi A4. And guys, don't get me wrong, modern Audis are sophisticated, they are cute, and something else that they have is modern technology that takes away the real connection that you get when you're driving and having an experience with your car. And that's one thing that I love about this particular Audi A4. But it doesn't stop there. This particular one takes it a bit higher because it delivers a 5-speed manual transmission that can allow me to do this. Woo! Back in the days, the Audi B1, B2, B3 and B4 didn't wear the badge the Audi A4. In fact, Audi had to wait until the Audi B5 to officially crown it as the official Audi A4. And there was a reason for it. And the reason was the consumers at that time had grown fond of a product that was giving the BMW 3 Series and the Mercedes-Benz W203 a run for their money. In fact, it was considered at that time that the Mercedes-Benz W203 was the ugliest of the three. Another fun fact is, Daimler Mercedes-Benz once owned Audi under a company called Auto Union. And it's at this company that they donated one of the engineers by the name Ludwig Klaus, who went to design and help Audi grow as a brand. And when Mercedes-Benz decided to sell Audi to VW Group, and VW Group was going to buy Audi for one singular reason, to use their factories to produce many VWs. What they didn't know is behind the scene, Ludwig Klaus, with his team of engineers, had developed one of the most epic Audi ever. And that will come to change the fortunes of Audi as a brand. And this Audi went with the codename the Audi F103. And it featured a masterstroke, a 4-stroke engine. In the modern day, what you guys are driving as the EA111, the EA211, and the legendary EA888. That engine is what pioneered or set the basis of us having those engines on our modern day Audis and VWs. In fact, the Audi F103 is what formed the basis of the Audi 60, Audi 70, Audi 80, and the Audi Super 90. And again, if you remember the review of the Audi S4, if you haven't watched, the link is up here. We featured what we call the Audi 100. This again is the basis that was formed from the Audi F103. The Audi 100 went out to be the first S4 and then the modern day RS4, and the Audi 60, 70, 80 and Super 90 went on to be your modern day Audi A4. Now, this car, the Audi F103, was so superb that VW Group borrowed it and used it on the first VW Passat B1. Fast forward to the Audi B5, the first official Audi A4, and now before me is the Audi B6. Complexity is your enemy. Any fool can make a complicated thing. It's hard to make something simple. That's a quote by Richard Branson. And I believe that's what Audi was working with when they came up with the design concept of the Audi A4 B6. For a 30-year plus car, I find the interior build quality of the Audi A4 B6 to be short of epic and awesome. Real wood finish, soft plastic material that make this car just look awesome. I don't believe these are 30 plus year old. Just look at how awesome and beautiful this car looks in the interior. The dual tone color going on is a shade of gray, dark gray and lighter gray. The lighter gray is on the roof liner, which makes this car look quite beautiful. Now, coming back to the seats, it feels quite comfortable. For a compact sedan, believe me, it feels slightly better than sitting in something like a BMW 3 Series, 318 or 316. I reckon this feels much better. It's sturdy, it's comfortable. Now, comfort features. For the driver, you get a very nicely positioned cup holder that you can tuck it away when you're not using, okay? For the passengers, the rear, they get 3 sunshades. One on the right side of the passenger seat and the other one on the left side of the passenger seat. And also at the rear windscreen, you also get a sunshade, which can be controlled electronically by clicking on this button. Quite interesting and beautiful. And what you get here is your old school standard Audi MMI infotainment system with an aftermarket radio. But I reckon there's variants of this car that you can get with a stock radio. It looks very, very beautiful. When you put on this car, you get the Audi red. This Audi red that you'll get on the cluster, you'll get on the infotainment system when you turn on your AC. It's the same thing you'll get on a VW Passat B4, B5, B6. So that was a signature way of how Audi and VW chose to display their colors. And in case you guys are wondering, what exactly is this and this? These are aftermarket additions that the owner of this car has put on this car, which I find them to look a bit awkward and hideous. I'm going to have a personal brief with the owner of this car. Okay? If you want a proper Android radio, please. He happened. Of consumers back in the days pushed Audi to introduce a CVT transmission on this chassis, and that is because they were looking for fuel economy and performance at the same time, which is mind-boggling considering that Audi made it possible so for us to have a 5-speed manual transmission, which is the one we have today. And this one also guaranteed you fuel economy, but superb and excellent driving dynamics, and that will allow me to do something like this. Under the hood of the Audi A4, if you're on a budget and you're looking for an engine that can give you a blend of 2 special things, for a car enthusiast or a person who loves power, then there is no better engine on the Audi or VW lineup better than the 1.8T, and here's why. So this engine from the factory comes with a forged crankshaft. That's number 1. Number 2, it's running 20 valves on the 4 cylinders, meaning each cylinder has 5 valves, which is quite interesting, okay? Direct injection. Now, if you buy this car, or if you buy this engine on any VW, be the Passat, it is transversely mounted. But when you buy it on the Audi started this thing with Audi, VW Audi group back in the days where Audi was the sporty-oriented variant and then the VW was the fuel economical, more conservative variant. So you find it in a Passat, itakuwa transversely mounted. But if you're buying it in this Audi A4, then it will be longitudinally mounted, and that's what you get. So the cylinders run this way, which is quite special because one of the strongest idea around running this engine like this is the ability that if you have this car in an automatic transmission configuration, then you can also have the ability to have the quattro all-wheel drive system, which is, without a doubt, one of the best. In fact, there are only two. It's either quattro or symmetrical all-wheel drive system from Subaru. So that is what you get with the 1.8T. Now let's come down to power output and figures. If you buy the basic variant of this, the one that is in this particular car, it will give you anything between 150 to 190 HP. Now, there are different variants giving you different power outputs, but this particular one will give you 150 and 210 Newton meters of torque. Okay, that appears or sounds like it's not really much. Pair that to a 5-speed manual transmission, which I strongly feel that Audi should have given this car an extra gear because the 5-speed is not enough. Let's come back to tuning. Stock, when this engine is in stock configuration, it can push just by a tune only, just running a software tune. You are capable of getting upwards of 250 HP on stock. Okay? Now, if you start going upwards, again, you can push it slightly further to 300, still on stock internals, but you can do a bit of modification on the exhaust side. You can have downpipes, you know, the intake side. You can also have an upgrade or improvement on the intake side. And again, plus a tune. And that will give you 300 HP comfortably on a 1.8 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine. Now let's get it upwards. Now you go back to the engine, do your forged piston, do a better set of conrods. You know, this engine is capable of giving you upwards of 450 HP. Pair that engine to a slightly bigger turbo, you know, a KO4, a Borg-Warner, or a Garrett turbo, then you're talking business. This car can push 450. And with 450, and the way that this car has, trust me when I say that there are few cars that can actually keep up to what this car can do. Let's talk about handling. While the competition at the W203 and the BMW 3 Series was stuck with McPherson's truss at the front and independent mantling suspension at the rear, Audi had something special for this Audi A4 B6. And what they had is an independent 4-link suspension at the front. Forget, it's not your conventional double wishbone. It's actually 4 links, okay? And the rear, they had something special that will make this Audi handle like a dream. So at the rear, the lower control arm and the upper control arm met in a trapezial design, and that made the name for that independent mantling suspension at the rear, which Audi calls a trapezoidal suspension, you know, which is quite beautiful. And that allows you to do something like this. So how fast will the Audi A4 B6 5-speed manual 1.8T 150 HP 210 Newton meters of torque? Now launching a manual is tricky, but let's try. Okay, remember this has a dual mass flywheel. I'll tell you all about that, the difference between a single mass and a dual mass. So a dual mass, you're not supposed to launch hard because the mechanism around it, it's a bit different and unique. But let's give it a shot. So we do a soft launch, and then from there we tamp it down. Drag is on, so let's do this in 1, 2, 3. And 100. This Audi is dope. Let me see the numbers. I love good numbers. Ah, man. 0 to 100 in 10.73 seconds. Quite decent and pretty. A wise man once said that perfection is not found in things, but rather on how those things make you feel. This moment right here, this car has reminded me of the good things that exist. that you never know until you stumble upon one. Ultimately, without a doubt, the Audi A4 B6 is the perfect balance between a classic daily drive and a power monster.